What's up, everybody? I hope you're having a good day. Happy Saturday. We've tried to record this video a couple of times now, and just keeps having technical issues. Uh, had a file missing on some software, and I think we finally got it figured out. And I believe we're on smooth sailing right now, and got everything kind of figured out, hopefully. But yeah, as I've been saying every day, just about every time I make a video, there's a lot of things going on around the world. Your head's on swivel. It's not only now from one day to the next, but it's every 2 or 3 times each and every day that we have some kind of event going on or something going on that takes our attention from our own selves, our own well-being, and the world around us that we need to take care of. So, yeah, guys, keep your eyes open, but always take care of yourself. So right now, what we got been going on, guys, a lot of things been taking our attention. Of course, this stuff going on in the Middle East with Iran and Israel is one thing, as well as Ukraine and China and Russia, and all sorts of things, as well as domestic stuff. The biggest thing that was been hitting our news, of course, is what Donald Trump's been doing and what's been going on with the immigration stuff, the riots and resistance going on with that. And I'm not going to put out any kind of views on that or anything like that, whether it's right or wrong, who's doing right or who's doing wrong or anything like that. But I do want to pay our attention to what's going on with troop movement. That's the biggest thing. And I do keep saying this, guys, that we are walking straight into martial law, whether it's disguised as one thing or another. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's coinciding with what's getting ready to go down here. And I do believe we are heading full force into martial law before the end of the year, if not shortly thereafter. One of the things that have been taking our attention, of course, is what's been going on in the southern border, as well as Los Angeles and California, as well as other places with a lot of rioting and resistance against the immigration efforts of the ICE and immigration forces and everything. So we see a lot of rioting and resistance. Of course, we all know, we always all heard already that this has paid opposition from one side or the other. A lot of people pointing their fingers at George Soros. Some people pointing their fingers at other people like Donald Trump. Uh, there's a reason for all this, guys. Don't think anything that's going on is by happenstance or organized just by a bunch of idiots. The people that's doing a lot of this organization, guys, are paid actors. They're also trained resistance fighters. Remember, I've talked about this before, that Antifa, the real Antifa, not the blue-haired, pink-haired people running around here that can't get a date. But these are trained, hardened, terrorist active personnel. They've been taken south of the border or perhaps even overseas to other countries and trained in terrorist camps or terrorist-like or military operations. And they have been brought back to the United States as sleeper cells, as a lot of people talk about, and turned loose. So who's funding them? Well, that's up to speculation, maybe by all kinds of different people. Who knows? But the main purpose of all this is, guys, everybody's working for the same deal, is we're going towards martial law. We've seen an increase in law enforcement as well, law enforcement and providing law enforcement equipment and everything by the administration, militarizing the law enforcement across the nation, bringing them military-style equipment and weapons and things like that, and making them available for hardened equipment, militarized equipment and stuff, as well as body armor and things like that. So that's there. That's going on, guys. We've seen in Los Angeles what's going on. Only a part of what has been happening. Of course, we've seen the poster child of the one guy standing on the car with the big flag and everything. That's all staged, okay? A lot of it's staged. But the real purpose of this, guys, is for a lockdown. During Los Angeles, guys, we started seeing an increase of military personnel being shipped there. Last told where there was like 400 Marines, 6,000, I do believe now, 6,000, maybe 6,000, more than 6,000 National Guard on the streets, as well as supportive equipment. They also have what I would consider urban helicopters. They're a smaller version, two-man, short maneuverable helicopter that is used for surveillance and other military operations. I don't know if it has hardened points for weapons or not, but it is able to fly at the urban levels, such as street level, shortly above street level, within cities, buildings, and things like that. Real maneuverable. So they do have these deployed in and around Los Angeles. Also, they have aerial support such as helicopters, Black Hawks, and others, as well as surveillance aircraft and drones. Somebody made a comment a while back, a few days ago, about the operations, military-style operations surveillance. going over Los Angeles and Los Angeles area. Well, this is standard operations when the military is deployed in an action, police action, military action, whatever. They will have air support and air surveillance, so this is nothing new. The reason why, though, guys, is they're getting ready to lower the boom. One of the things that's of note while this is going on in Los Angeles and everything is that, of course, during this time of year, this goes on across the nation, this is when the National Guard and Reserves start doing their annual 2-week training period. They go out different locations, they ship their equipment as well as their weapons and armament and other stuff to these locations where they'll do live fire demonstrations, etc., and things like this, and also practice different things. So there is annually a lot of troop movement going on, but also we're seeing a lot of hardened equipment going out. In Los Angeles and around California and everything like that, they have also started their annual training period. But the thing is, when Donald Trump took charge of the National Guard or sent the National Guard into Los Angeles and the surrounding areas, he federalized them, brought them, basically made them active duty, then now under charge of the federal government, the U.S. Army or whoever they represent. But the National Guard is basically the state militia. There's not all of them has been federalized. There's still several, and they are starting their training mission. And the thing is, Newsom, I do believe, by some kind of word of mouth or whatever handed down, that their training operations will be just outside of Los Angeles. They're there with their equipment, their weapons, their armament, and ammo and things like that, just starting their training exercises outside of the Los Angeles area. Kind of happenstance to be going on there. I don't know if it's planned or whatever, but I want you to realize something, guys, that right now the National Guard that's on training missions or training exercises is under the rule of the thumb of the governor of California, Governor Newsom. The others, the ones that's being used in it to quell the rioting and unrest in Los Angeles, is under Trump's rule. Right now, they've been federalized, which means they're a regular army, basically. So we have Los Angeles troops held by the rule of the federal government, and we have California troops being held outside of Los Angeles, running by Governor Newsom, which is having a understandably hard time getting along with our president. So is this set up for something or not? And also during the same time, guys, last weekend, I think it was, we seen the big parade in D.C. There was 98, I think it was, maybe there was quite a bit more. It was probably maybe a little bit more tanks and armament vehicles that was used in this parade, as well as supporting vehicles and other Humvees and things like this was used in this parade, as well as helicopters and aircraft. All told, there were 6,600 additional military sent to D.C. Add this on to the other troops that's been filtering in since Donald Trump took office January 20th. I would estimate there's a little over 10,000 additional troops in and around the D.C. area. That is a very highly militarized area in and around D.C., guys. So this is in addition to all of the other troops that is already stationed and out of D.C. area up and down the coast. So that's quite a bit of military in the D.C. area, as well as equipment, armament, weapons, and stuff like that. But we still do maybe starting to see a standoff between Donald Trump and Governor Newsom in California, between the troops that's in and around D.C. as for the rioting and the National Guard on training operations outside of the D.C. area. This is almost kind of standoff of the Old West, Indians and Cowboys or whatever you want to call it and everything. But this is developing right now, guys, and not a lot of people are talking about it and noticing this. But it's something that we need to pay attention to. But on to the thing about the lockdown, guys. If y'all have not watched the movie Civil War or Leave the World Behind, I urge you to find a way to do it. There's several ways you can watch it free using a Kodi device or Kodi software on your phone or your computer or other device that you can watch this with and everything. There's instructions on YouTube on how to do it and everything like that. Kodi is the name of the program. So you can look it up and try to figure out if you can use it on your phone or your computer or your laptop and see how the operations go so you can watch free movie. Anyway, guys, during that movie, if you haven't watched it, you had the California Alliance, the Texas Alliance, and the Alliance and the Florida Alliance. that was coming together against the leader of the country, kind of an overweight businessman with a kind of a flippant hair. Anyway, kind of representative of somebody else. So they shot him at the end of the movie, so I'll go spoiler for you right there. But the movie really kind of sucks because it's all about the reporters during the movie. But the sideline action, guys, is some of the things that's really took heart with me to watch it about 3 times now. Brother against brother, neighbor against neighbor, friend against friend, guys. I'm very serious. That's what this portrayed in there. You don't know who you're shooting at, whether they're wearing a uniform or not. Everybody's wearing the same uniform or the same kind of clothing. So you don't know who your enemy is or who your friend is. And it kind of stands out real strong like that. So I suggest you watch it and watch the sideline story besides what's going on with the reporters. So anyway, I do see Trump developing a border control as we've been seeing it with the southern border. I don't know how many is there now, but there's quite a few. Well over 10,000 if I'm not mistaken, and they got their equipment and everything like that, as well as aerial support and water support, ships and stuff like that going up and down the west coast of California and the Baja and everything. So that's there. Another thing that's been going on while this has been happening, guys, is that there is high altitude balloons flying over the United States and strategic areas in the United States, taking surveillance videos and things like that of what's going on across the nation. If you watch ABDS flight program, it watches aircraft and stuff like that. You can see these balloons on there, and you keep track of them and see where they're going at. It's interesting, guys. They're in specific areas at specific times, and I'm not sure what's going on with them, but that's there. Uh, Anyway, Trump is building up a border security across the southern border. No doubt about it. Where everybody says we need to do that, yes, I agree. We need to secure our borders. We also need to secure our southern border, our east and west coast coastlines, as well as the northern border, which is the largest border, continental border in the world. Over 5,000 miles, I think 5,700 miles of border with another country, which is more than any other country. So it's left basically unwatched, untended, and it's easily crossed there. So don't let them fool you. But yeah, we need surveillance there too, and we need to watch our East Coast. Uh, Trump is setting up things, guys, for us to be going to martial law. See, if he pushes Newsom into action, and et cetera, like that, yeah, we will go into lockdown. Right now, there's reports going out and telling people to shelter in place in different locations, different states and cities throughout the nation because of the weather. We also receive reports of for us to stay inside, away from windows and doors because of the weather. So that's kind of odd. And just before we started hearing these reports of staying inside, away from windows and doors, we had a statewide civil defense test. Now, we've all heard the national uh, alert program going on TV and radios and stuff like that for a while and everything like that. But how long has it been since you have heard an actual state level civil defense alert? Well, they're start practicing them now. It's not the only place I've heard of it here in Pennsylvania, but there's a few other states that also has had these also coming across their TV or radio, other communication devices, even your cell phones. So be aware of these guys that this is going on. This is a state level civil defense. That's a whole different thing from the federal alert system. So need to pay attention to this stuff coming in. Trump is pulling forces and pushing things into a hand where we are going into a martial law. Right now, with the current level of aerial surveillance, ground level surveillance going on, guys, these ICE agents, immigration agents, are going in doing no knock warrants. And if y'all don't know what those are, you look them up and everything. They don't knock, they just kick your door in, come in and take you. They are doing this. How long do you think it's going to be coming to your neighborhood where you'll get, open the door now, and they come in and ask who's here, who isn't here, etc., etc. And believe you me, that is coming. Right now, we see a full militarization of the U.S. forces and militarization of the police force on the ground right now, all pulling towards this so-called immigration effort. This is all pushing us. Yeah, this is all good and great and everything like that, guys. I kind of understand the whole thing about this and everything, like protecting ourselves, taking care of what we have, what we need to do, as well as helping others also. But yeah, there is things there that we want to get into. But the thing is, guys, with this effort that's going on, we are going to be starting to see the police coming into neighborhoods next door to you, down the street from you, across the street from you, that they just open the door, come in, and ask who the hell's living there. Don't think they won't do it, because they already started doing it in Los Angeles and other areas. They're going into churches, schools, courts. They're also going up to work sites, people pulling people over on the street, doing roadblocks. Yes, they are started doing roadblocks, checking papers. I even heard one guy said, "Let me see your papers." There's a military personnel demanding to see the person's papers. This is going on, guys, right now. There won't be stopping this for the people of certain designations, certain colors, certain races. They'll be coming in because people want to harbor these refugees, these immigrants, or whatever you want to call them. They harbor them, so now they think they have the right to come in anybody's home, anybody's business, any location, including the courthouse and the governor's house, to see who the hell's there. Don't think they won't do it to you. How far away are we from martial law at this moment? Well, the military and the government, police, have the full authority support of the government and everybody else to come in to your home and search through your home to see what's there. How far away are we from martial law right now, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen? We are on the verge. This is on our doorstep right now, and we are there. We need to watch what's going on. You need to be prepared, get stuff ready to do what you need to do. But, notice this, guys. It's coming. Martial law is just around the corner, just a few steps away. Already we're seeing the dual surveillance of the United States. We're seeing the digital takeover of our monetary system. We're also seeing the militarization of the police and law enforcement. We're also seeing troops, military troops, armed military troops on the streets going into people's homes. Hope y'all have a groovy day. Later, taters.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!